Story time about how a client who unalived his grandma with a skate taught me not to judge a book by its cover. Let's get into it. So even though I don't work at the shelter no more, I'm pretty sure I'm still held under this thing called confidentiality. Because of that, I ain't trying to get sued. There are going to be parts of the story that I either change slightly just so you guys won't guess it and figure out who this client is. You know, get a bitch sued, because I don't know what the repercussions is if a person can't pay a lawsuit because, you know, shit, a bitch is broke. So I'm not trying to figure out what those repercussions would be. For those who don't know, I used to work at a shelter. When I get to the shelter, the first thing I like to do is read what type of clients we have in my department. I can know about them, know what might trigger them, what might calm them down if they get highly upset about something. Oh, for this particular shift, it was a shift where I worked by myself. I worked a graveyard shift. My coworker was off for her weekend. As I come on to work, I see that we have a new client, and I'm reading about this client. My eyes go wide. When my eyes laid upon a part of the client's file, this client unalived his grandma with a skate somewhere under the ages of 13. You did grandma in with a skate? That's granny though. You be unaliving granny with a skate at the age you were. And on top of that, the client spent the majority of his time behind bars than he have freely walking around the world. I'm gonna watch him like a hawk. Every time this client comes around, I'm watching you. Call me misjudger because I was judging the hell out of this client. Now that I know what type of client we have up in here, in my department, we have like the water jug thing that dispenses water. We have that within the office. So if the clients were thirsty, they would have to knock on the office door and we would have to open the door to let them in to get some water. I'm in the office around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm on the computer. I'm doing whatever. I'm not sure what the fuck I was doing, either work or school. I hear a knock at the door, so I turn around. In my head, I'm like, what? So I got up and I opened the door. Working in the shelter, I have this one rule. Only thing that my back would ever be turned to is a wall. An adamant object. Did I say that right? It's an object that can't move. That's the only thing my back will ever be turned to. So when he came in the office, same rules applies. Sit in the chair, but I'm gonna be facing you. But I'm not gonna look directly at him to let him know that I'm like watching you. I reached down and I think I grabbed my phone or something, or maybe I grabbed like the chart that we had to go over or whatever. But I grabbed something, so it looks like I'm doing something, like I'm not paying attention to you. I can see you out my peripheral though. I can see you out the side of the eyeballs though, like waiting for him to leave so I can get back to whatever the fuck I was doing on the computer. So he comes in there and he grabs a cup and he's drinking the water, and I'm just like down here acting like I'm doing something important, which I wasn't. He strikes up a conversation with me about, I don't fucking remember, but we started having a conversation, talking for like a good 2 or 3 minutes. I'm a very good reader of people. I can read people very well. So as we're having this conversation, I'm a nosy bitch. I don't want to know shit to tell people. I don't give a fuck about telling no one, but I need to know. I hate having questions in my head with no answers. Like, so as I'm talking to him, I get a sense like, Hannah, it seems like I can ask him this question and nothing bad will happen coming from asking this question. So I asked a question. When I ask a question, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a very personal or sensitive subject, I like to go about asking the question like this: hey, I want to ask you something that could be very personal or sensitive, and if it's something that you don't want to talk about, you can just be like, Hannah, shut the fuck up, and I'm gonna be like, okay, and I'm gonna shut the fuck up, and we can just forget I asked the question and leave it at that. And he was like, yeah, no problem, yeah, ask me. How do you ask somebody about this? Like, you just like, hey, so you did your grandma? Like, no, bitch. Honestly, I didn't know how to ask him. So this is what I did, you guys. I was like, so I was reading your case file, your grandma, and like an incident with the skate. The response was, hell yeah, I killed that bitch for the skate. Yeah. I knew, I wanted the answer to that. Kind of like threw me off guard. And like sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I was caught off guard by some of the shit that happened in the shelter because I had never experienced or been around it before. So I was caught off guard. So when he said that, I was like, gate though? Like, how do you put every emphasis in a letter in a word? I thought emphasis go in the word itself. Like, it's like a confession, but it can't be a confession because I read about the shit in his file. But now you're skating on dead ice. Hannah, don't be asking that question. But like, Granny was old if you're her grandson. Like, golly, gee, Willikers. Hannah, you're fucking nosy, bitch. Don't ask no more questions. But I kind of want to ask him why he used to skate. I mean, it's already old. So like, damn, all you have to do is give her ass a few more years. I'm sure she would have went the natural way. But like,
Skate your ass out this question.
That was my question. How do you respond to that? Like, my answer. All that thinking happened in a matter of seconds. It was really fast. But sorry, my dog's harassing me for treats. Here, Josie, go somewhere. It's best for me to escape the question. You know how he answered it. He kind of just threw a bitch off. But he was like, wait, let me tell you why. Let me tell you what happened. I'm thinking to myself, well, there is two sides to every story. I would be wrong to only take a file side of the story. I need to equally hear his story like I equally read the file stories. The office of equalness. You know what? He has every right to tell me his version of the story. I'm going to eagerly listen. I'm curious. I'm a nosy bitch. I told you guys this. I'm a nosy bitch. I'm nosy. I hate having unanswered questions, so tell me your story. I just want to say this. I'm not saying I do believe it. I'm not saying I don't believe it. But what he told me is very believable, and it happens more than we know behind fucking closed doors. That's why I am saying, okay, let's get to what he said now. I don't remember word for word, so I'm just going to give you guys like, what the fuck you call it? Guys, a gist of what he said. But he said that his grandma, that, excuse me, that woman